are back. Act 2 the podcast, episode 181. It is
your girl Tosh, the co-hostess with the mostest, and it is
International Walk in the building. In the building. Episode 181. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, Podchaser, Google Podcasts, Player FM are all the platforms that you can catch our faces on. All you gotta do is type us in, look us up, and she'll come up, I'll come up, we'll come up, we'll be up. So let's get right to it. How are you?
I am doing well. Mentally I'm probably a 9. Not that anything is wrong. And work has been really busy, which is good, but I'm feeling like you know how you will always say around that time, like you feel like you need a vacation. Mm-hmm. Like I'm just feeling all of the, not just work, busyness of life, where it's like, I need to sit down for a minute. And I don't want anything to be wrong. So God knows my heart. I'm not saying like, sit down because he sat me down. But it's like, okay, it's almost that time. Like, I can feel it getting to that time. Our usual schedule. We went on vacation in March. June for second quarter, we did something different. We had the kids come here. So, third quarter, looking at whatever is on the schedule. But I can just feel it where it's like, okay, it's almost that time. So I'm a 9. Financially a 9. All is well. Well is all. And just keeping the clock ticking. I just made that up. That was like some real smooth.
I don't know what the correlation of that is. Keeping the clock ticking.
Keeping things going. And ain't nothing stopping the show. We moving like we moving. We shaking like we moving like we shaking.
People use I heard all that before, but people usually say keep things going, not keep it ticking. Like you just be taking like legitimate phrases and putting extra word, or taking out a word and putting your own word in, and then expect somebody to be like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Y'all know what I mean. I'm keeping the clock ticking. Yeah. Work is a 10. I was just thinking like I can't really say there's any negative components to my job. Like, sometimes it's more travel than my husband would like, or I'm busier some weeks than I would like, but overall, generally, I like my job, which is a good feeling. It made me think about you, and we can talk about that another time. Like, you've been at your job for it's been longer than that, 25 years, because you started there in 99, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, this year makes 25 years. Wow. And it just makes me think, like, I know we can talk about things that people don't like about their jobs, but what do you love about it that has kept you that long? But we could have that conversation for a different day. But work is a 10. Physically, I am feeling like a 9. Only because I'm, tired un poquito. But, other than that, nothing's hurting. I'm a little monthly bloated feeling a little bit, but I've been working out this week, trying to fit it in, get it in where I can fit it in, and doing new things thanks to my amazing trainer. I'm looking forward to getting stronger. Of course, I want to lose weight. I want to be fit. I want to be healthy, but I also want to be stronger, and I'm doing some new things that I'm surprising myself. My trainer is hard, but he loves me, and he pushes me in a gentle way. Sometimes, I get a little pissed off, but I don't let him know it. Like, if I'm like taking a little bit to get my breath together, and he's like, come on, and it's like, that doesn't make me move faster. I'm not ready yet. But I know, he's just trying to keep me on track. But I love the fact that we're doing things for me to get stronger. I'm looking forward to just seeing what that progress looks like a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, God willing. And again, of course, I want the weight loss to all come with it. But I want the, strength to come with it too. So I'm excited about that.
Awesome.
How are you?
I am good. Mentally, I would say I'm an 8.5.
Mm-hmm. That's low, bro.
Yeah, mentally, nothing's like wrong, but just stress. Finances, I would say 9. Always got to leave a big whole gap for growth there. Work, I would say, is a 10. Yeah, work's fine. Back with the fellas, doing our thing. So yeah, that's great. And physically, I feel like a 9. Arms hurt a little bit. Like she said, we was doing some new shit in the gym, some pull-ups and some dips, and they hurt. Yeah, they hurt. So especially when you're getting after it, it tightens you up a little bit. I can't even like straighten my arms. Like they just gotta stay bent to feel good. So
I'm just looking forward to these potato salad arms going away because I don't even know how to make potato salad.
I never even looked at your arms like that. Like she got potato salad arms. Like it's crazy how women think about just the names y'all come up with. Like,
well, because they say, you know how like when
I would be so offended if like somebody called you potato salad arms. It would be like, what the fuck?
No, nobody better not call me that. But it, you know where it comes from. They say like, you know, when an old grandma makes some good potato salad and she be stirring the pot. And her arm be like moving, so it's like you got that arm that look like you make some good potato salad.
No, I don't get that. Like that come from grandma eating potato salad. That's fat.
Well, it's still
it ain't got nothing to do with the making of it.
But it move. It don't move when she
muscle.
eat. It move when she
making just a flabby arm. I'm ready to say it should be a muscle arm if she doing all that stirring.
No, it's just it moves when she's making it. So it's not a literal thing. Like, of course, nobody, you know, you're going to gain some weight. You eat potato salad all the time, but that's what it comes from. You know, you make that good potato salad. You know, I don't know how to even make potato salad.
Tasted it once, don't eat it. Not my cup of tea.
Which I'm surprised because your Nana used to make one of the best potato salads I've ever had. She made the best. Oh, well, how do you know if you don't even like it?
Because of the way people flocked around it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I can say, I will say her potato salad was number 1. Yeah. I had a number 2 and a number 3, but she was number 1. Yeah, and I never practiced making it because nobody else in my family likes it. My husband doesn't eat it. My sisters don't eat it. So like if we have like a family dinner or Thanksgiving, like nobody else eats it. So it was never really a point in me making it. So,
I think the only cold salad that tastes good to me, well, it's 2: seafood salad and macaroni and tuna salad. Like potato salad, that shit is.
Well, you're not a mayonnaise
gross.
Either.
Yeah, like that shit is gross. And like all them other salads with mayonnaise in it too, they don't like set the world, like chicken salad and like all that shit don't. Salad. It's like ugh.
I like a good chicken salad. I like a good turkey salad. Like I don't even like Thanksgiving turkey, but if you use the leftover Thanksgiving turkey to make turkey salad, that's good.
Yeah, I tried it one year. Like people gassed me up to think it was great. I made some turkey salad and had a sandwich and was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like this shit is
but see,
gross.
with turkey salad,
I think you're supposed to put a little mustard in it.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna say. It's not just mayonnaise; it's the mustard in it too, so you get that little tang a little bit. You used to like egg salad.
Egg salad is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did used to like egg salad, but that cholesterol.
You know what's weird to me though, and this is a textural thing. I can't eat egg salad on white bread. It's like I don't know.
I can eat it on white bread or toast.
I need toast. Yeah, I mean, if I'm starving, I will. But the texture, it's just like it. The only thing I want all soft like that is like peanut butter and jelly.
No, I could eat egg salad. Or I could eat a tuna sandwich on white bread too.
Tuna has a little different texture.
But it does. Each one of those sandwiches do taste better on toast.
Yes,
tuna and egg salad.
Yeah, and you don't eat cheese, but a nice layer of cheddar with it. What's your wows and woes for this week?
Wows. Let me see. What happened good this week? I lived. That's a big one right there. I kept breathing. So I will go with that one. That's probably bigger than anything that's happened this week. Woe. No, not gonna conjure up nothing bad happened. Just the stress of life. Just being an 8.5 on the mental. So that's my woe, is not being as sharp as I normally feel. Okay. So yeah. That's fair. How about you? Ups. Downs,
so this kind of ties it out. I kind of mentioned this last time about the weather because I love the summer. But the official summer season came in June 20th. So that was like the wow, because that is the longest day of the year. But the woe is, and I don't know if people recognize this, the next day the days start getting shorter, and it's just.
I think not everybody. I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of people know that.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people. I'm just saying that I don't think everybody, because you don't unless you're looking at the time, you don't really realize it. And it may be by 1-2 minute increments, but it feels so good. You think it's really the springtime that we want to enjoy as the days are getting longer, leading up to the first day of summer. And then summer is great, but it's like the days, the daylight, the amount of daylight. So
it has to cut back.
The sunset. Yeah, but why don't it happen in fall?
I don't know, but at some point, I don't guess the way shit spins or whatever, or the way shit's set up. But I don't. It can't gotta cut off at some point, because if the days keep getting longer, it'd be fucking the sun would be out at 9:30 at night, 10 o'clock at night. It's not Alaska.
Right, but so that was just my wow and whoa. It's like, yay, summer, and then it's like, oh, like I can't believe it's almost July.
Yeah.
Like
the other day, it was the 25th. I was driving to work, and somebody talked on the radio and was like, "You believe that 6 months from today is Christmas?" Like, do you know how fast 6 months go? And it was like, shit, years go by.
But do you know how short amount of time it was like 6 months ago?
Years go by like that. Yeah, that's how you can look at it, too. The first 6 months of the year is gone. Mm-hmm. So it being December 25th would be like the blink of an eye.
Yep. So
like, start getting your shopping list together, because it's, it's not even that Christmas in July shit yet. And it's, 6 months away.
Yeah, it'll be here.
It's half a goddamn year. What happened in the news? Anything good?
Well, we know we have an election coming up, and not that like we get into the whole politics and things like that, but there is a debate that I am interested in seeing. Almost, and not for the political reasons. Yes,
no.
I want to hear if they got anything good, but it's gonna be like a
stand-up comedy special.
A reality show, like some.
It's a stand-up. I'm not looking for no political stuff, because I just think they're gonna go at each other, and they're gonna miss that political stuff. They're gonna misstep so much, and they got this new thing where the moderator is cutting the mic off the person who can't talk.
Good, because I was just thinking to myself, that's going to be annoying to hear a bunch of banter back and forth. I know I'm going to not be able to pay attention to that if you hear a whole lot of that, like, and they don't cut them off.
But you think a lot of people think about that one way, because they think, oh, it'll give Biden a chance to talk because Trump won't interrupt them. Yes, that is the case, but it also, when Trump time is his time to talk, Biden can't say shit, and then you don't want Trump up there just going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So it can work in a bad way. I just want to see how they prop Joe Biden up, like giving him probably amphetamines and giving him like some vitamins, like in the IV before he go up there, just because he ain't all there, and he gonna need some energy.
Amphetamines make you drowsy, right?
No, amphetamines make you upbeat.
Oh, I was thinking antihistamine. I'm sorry, my
cocaine
bad.
And fucking Adderall and shit like that.
I was thinking the wrong word.
You thinking meth?
No, I was thinking antihistamine, like Benadryl.
No,
okay,
amphetamine is like so he can be alert and up. Whatever that is, Ritalin or whatever the fuck it is, like he gonna have to be alert because he freezes up. He can't just be up there. Trump say some pertinent shit and people are waiting for an answer, and he just like freeze.
And I feel like he goes into this mode where he tries to, it's like he's not a rah-rah person, but when he's talking to Trump, he tries to go into that rah-rah mode, and it's like, calm down before you
and that's not
break a neck muscle. And I think
that's what's going to like make his body seize up, because his body going to be like, what the fuck are you doing?
And he starts mumbling, and every time he starts to speak, it's like the first 4 words are all jumbled, and he had like, what did you say?
Yeah,
like every time he starts to speak, there's a problem.
It's Thursday night, and I can't wait to see that.
Oh, it's Thursday night. I thought it was Friday night
because it's just going to be like a stand-up comedy special. Like watching them two go back and forth. The shit Trump is going to say, like he's been waiting for this, and I know Joe Biden's getting prepared, and he's going to have some stuff to say too. You know. But I just think Trump's going to go on a tear. It's going to look like, why is this on TV? Like, why is this a debate?
Yeah.
Because when it's his turn to speak, it's going to be his turn to speak. You got to allow the time. and he's not going to be able to interrupt Joe, so it's going to be Joe's time.
But
hopefully Joe takes his time and talks and get his points out. But if he can't articulate, it's a wrap.
But I think it may be good in order for people to hear what Trump has to say, so that if he is saying some stuff that's crazy, people who may have been contemplating, voting for him but unsure, maybe what he says, they might be like, nah, we can't vote for this guy.
Maybe.
Or it may push him to say, yes, we can vote. So I mean, I don't feel like either person should be censored.
I think he's smart enough to not say some off the wall shit, like some racist shit or something stupid up there.
I don't think he'll say anything racist.
Like, it's on all channels, everybody's watching. Like, he's not gonna go out of pocket.
I don't think he'll say anything racist, but I think the problem is what we think is off the wall, he doesn't.
Right.
So it's easy to say, I don't think stuff that he says, he doesn't. Like when he said to grab him by the pee, like he thought that was okay to say. So we can't, use his measuring stick for what's off the wall, because he's a live circuit. Like, you never know what he's gonna say.
I just found out something that was weird today too. George Bush ain't been the president in 20 years, 15 years?
Something like that. Because Biden, Trump, 2 Obamas, Clinton, so that's 20.
Okay, so he is younger than both Biden and Trump.
Wow.
That's crazy, and I think he like 68 or something like that.
Yeah.
But motherfucker ain't been the president in 20 years, and he younger than the 2 old ass dudes they trying to put in office now. And he seemed like the more, even if you could change the Constitution, he could come back for a 3rd term. Like, he would be better than these 2 guys. Like, cause like you said, it's going to be some shit that Trump says that people will
resonate.
Yeah, it's going to be shit that Trump says that people were thinking about. I'm gonna vote for him. He gonna say some shit that's going to turn them off.
Okay, but
you don't want to vote for Biden. Like, you don't want another 4 years of what we just had, and the pandemic and all that shit. Like, you're not going to want that.
Some people feel like...
And you don't even think he's going to make it 4 years.
Some people may feel like, though, okay, if we made... And this is sad to say, but it's like, if we made it these 4 years, we came out, if you maintained your job, maintained your career, you got... You're staying afloat. It may not have been the best 4 years of your life, but if you made it through, what is another 4 years going to do? But see, I think the problem is this, though. Until Trump gets another chance, he is going to continue to run, because I don't think there's a limit. You can only be president for 2 terms, but that's not to say you can only, how many times you can run, right?
Well, you can only be president for 2 terms. You can't run for a 3rd term.
No, I'm saying, right, but if you don't get you can keep trying for your 2nd term,
yes.
is what I'm saying.
Yes.
So if he doesn't win this time, I think we're going to go through this again in 2028.
Like we owe him 4 years.
He's going to keep coming back to
I think
try
Biden's
to get
biggest thing that he did in the 4 years was the student loan shit. He wiped out a lot of people's student loan. Maybe not yours, but there was some people that I seen on podcasts that had $315,000 worth of debt, and he wiped it. So I know, you might have a smaller amount than that, but for somebody with $300,000 worth of debt to get that wiped out, that means a lot to him. You'll spread the word about, I might vote for this guy.
I feel...
Hold on, not to cut you off, and I think his biggest thing is inflation. If Trump that's the thing. People don't want 4 more years of high shit keep going up. If
Trump come in them chicken wings $3,
yeah, it's breaking people.
Praises.
So if Trump is saying, look, I get back in there, I'm gonna make the deals go back, I'm gonna make people lower shit, that might do it, because that's what people are arguing about the most, is why everything costs so much. Why does it cost $100 just to go outside?
I think the danger, though, I think is the thing with Trump, and this is my absolutely politically ignorant opinion, right? So y'all don't come at me, because I don't get into the politics.
We're not
so this is from a very high surface level. I think the issue with Trump becoming president is not even so much a political issue. I think on an economic level, there may be some benefits to it. I think it's the a civil issue that him being president, that doesn't even affect the politicians, it's going to affect the people from other people. He's going to embolden these people who aren't even so much closeted anymore. They're outright outspoken about. I saw a post somebody put up was saying it was talking about how people say, oh, racism doesn't exist and blah 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 blah, and they showed a picture of a cross burning in Tennessee. Like, this was like a week ago, 2024, like a cross burning. Like, I mean, not to say that anybody thought the Ku Klux Klan was no longer still active and present, but a cross burning. So I think that, you know, those people who already are out there, they're going to be even more emboldened. I think that's the word. I hope I'm not making it up, but if so, y'all rock with me. I'm making it up. I think they're going to be more emboldened to show it's not even about showing your support to him, because you can support him and not be racist. I'm never going to say I think every Trump supporter is racist.
Yeah, because some people, it's just economics.
Exactly. But you have a lot of racists who are going to, you know, and I think that's going to be the problem.
A lot of people are going to be outwardly racist, and he's going to make people feel like you don't have to hide it no more. The Proud Boy shit and everybody talking stuff on the internet. But if jobs are better and unemployment is lower and things go down, like you said, them chicken wings go from $10.99 a pound to $2.99 a pound, people are going to like that. People are going to like that.
Because at the end of the day, a lot of people don't realize what actions happen in the Senate and Congress and all that, and how that impacts us. Because sometimes it takes a while for it to trickle down. It does have an impact. Some things have a direct impact, and some things it has to go through more channels before it hits us. But what most people, everyday Americans, care about is that direct impact. What are you doing that's going to affect my pockets? What are you doing that's going to affect my kids' school? What are you doing that's going to affect my house, my stability? And that's what people are going to care about. So regardless of what his divisive rhetoric is, he can say a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
If people's paychecks are increasing, or if your spending money is increasing because things are less expensive, if you see any kind of, and people say money doesn't make you happy, but it relieves stress, which therefore increases your happiness.
Yeah.
People are going to rock with him. And safety, even if you don't agree with some of his, like, you know, the militia mentality, the martial law and all of that, if it's safer, if there's less gun violence, like, people are going to not necessarily flock towards supporting him, but it's going to be like, it is what it is.
Just adapt.
It is what it is. And it's scary to say, but, you know, I'm not going to say it's scary. The potential of what could be. Civil war could rightfully break out, because ain't too many people gonna have somebody disrespecting them, or the uprising of the Kens and the Karens just because Trump is president. Let him be president, but stay in y'all place.
It almost did when he was president. That shit got very tense, where it was like, it could be a civil war out here. Like, it really can be a blacks against whites thing, like, out here, because of the stuff he was saying, the stuff that the people he was bringing out the woodworks. So yeah, all that stuff is true. In the midst of talking about all this political stuff, the Trumps and Biden, blacks and whites, and Civil War, integration happened in 1954. Brown versus
Board of Education.
The Board of Education, and people didn't grasp onto that till 1964. Do you think we should be integrated or segregated? Like, do black folks have more to gain being integrated with white people, or like we should be segregated, like, so we can have the Tulsa thing and the Black Wall Street thing? Like, do you think all that stuff will exist with the mindset and taking into account the mindset of black people today?
Well, I think that's very a huge generalization. I think you have the mindset of some black people that is very progressive, that is very focused on black excellence, where there can be a very successful economy, society with just black people. I think in any society, if it's just, I mean, you have in China, it's all China, I know there's others, but there's mostly Chinese people, in India, it's mostly Indian
Japan
people.
Japan is all Japanese
Yeah,
people.
so it's not this, no, of course, I know there's other people there, but I'm talking about the majority. So in America, when we, deal with, the black and white thing, so it's different. But you have some some white people that don't have the mindset to move towards a progressive society either. Sure. So with that being said, I think the problem with integration and with segregation is that it's never going to be equal. Whether we're integrated or segregated, the only way that it works is with equality. Even
so
with
it can't be classism.
Well, I'm talking about equality amongst races, because classism, it gives the benefit to some black people sometimes, but I don't care what class you are, you're still black, and you're never going to be treated equally as a white person who may be of the same class.
What I'm saying, if you got all these classes, what if one class is just smarter and dominant and rise up above the other classes? So it's like the Spanish people of all the classes assume the top position of society because they're smarter, they're better, they work harder, whatever it is, whatever factors you want to put in. But one class just is smarter and better and at advancing and adapting to stuff than the other classes. Like everybody, you say it's all equal and everybody has equal rights, but some people, like you could say, all the black people, we're better at sports and all this stuff and stronger and faster. What if we become the dominant class of all the other classes? That's classism, because everybody's supposed to be equal, but we just do things better.
So I don't understand what your question is. Do I think, like...
You said it shouldn't be classism, but I'm saying it will be if everybody is segregated into classes. You're saying everybody has equal rights and everybody's in classes. Black over here, white over here, this race over here, this race over here, right?
So you're saying separated by race, not class, but
separated
within each
by
race.
race, but you're saying it can't be classism. It has to be equal rights and everybody separated. Blacks over here so blacks can do their thing, whites over here so whites can do their thing, Asians over here so they can do their thing, and so forth. But if one of those groups are more dominant at life than the other groups, that creates classism.
Well, there's always going to be different classes of people in any group. Like now, okay, we're integrated and there's different classes. If you separate us, there's still going to be different classes. But what I'm saying is the equality. Like, yeah, there's supposed to be equal rights, and on paper we have equal rights, but we're not treated equally. So whether we're integrated or separated, the key factor is everybody has to be treated equally. And equality is not just about give him what you give him. It's also about equity. So you have to think, okay, if this white man I seen an illustration explaining this, right? And it said, if this white man has a tree and he's 6 feet tall, and if he gets to pick apples, then he can eat. And let's say he has a tree that is filled with apples, and you have this black man over here that has a tree, but it's sparse, right? It's not filled with apples. So that's not equal. Now, if you give him a tree that's filled with apples, that's equality, right? So they both, but listen, okay, they both have the same opportunity. But if he's 6 feet tall and he's 4 feet tall, that's where the equity comes into, where, okay, maybe he needs a step stool to stand on. So now, not only do they have the same opportunity to pull from the same apples, they also have the same advantage. And I think that's part of the problem with white people, or a lot of the problem with society is people say, oh, well, you have the same rights as I have. Well, if your dad left you, a $1 million trust, then us having the same rights to, let's just say, home ownership, it doesn't really matter because you had a head start. So
yeah, we didn't start at the same line.
Exactly. So that's where equity comes into play. And that's part of the problem with society. They say equal rights, but it's more so
So it's more equal opportunity.
More equal opportunity and equal advantages. Because again, you can.
But I think that's what I'm saying, where you're trying to X out classism, because I think in all groups of people there's going to be a smarter, more advanced, more technological, more stronger group of people that will just, like, the cream will rise to the crop. So
right.
You're saying, okay, if the cream rises to the crop, and all, like, these people, they did it all on their own. So these people down the bottom that didn't rise, give them the stuff that they need so they can be up here too?
Well, no, if you did it all on your own, then that is the same opportunity. That is the same advantage. But if you didn't do it on your own and it was handed to you, and then it's like, okay, now you start the race together, but you got a head start. That's right. Not. But if you say,
but I think you're grouping out of the people who was born with a silver spoon, which is, I mean, it's not like the majority of people that we're talking about people like us, like, not people who was born with trusses and shit.
I mean, yeah, but you still have to consider some of the opportunities that other people have that black people don't have. Like when you think about schools, right?
Right.
Okay, you think about the person that went to an Ivy League school versus the person who went to the community college. So the person that went to the community college may be just as smart, if not smarter, than the person that went to the Ivy League school, but maybe they just couldn't afford it. So it's like that advantage that you get, or sometimes, like, they look at it like you go apply for a job and they want to know, like, if you have a degree. They're not asking for transcripts. They're not asking for your GPA. We could have the same degree. I could have graduated from Princeton. I have a 2.0 GPA. You could have graduated from community college in Philadelphia and you have a 4.0 GPA. But they may look at me as the better candidate because it looks like I had a better advantage of going to an Ivy League school, when you actually did better. You just didn't have the same opportunity, or you didn't have the same advantage of going to where I went.
But I received that, but I would also beg to differ and push back that there's probably a random white girl on your level at your job that had opportunities that you might think you didn't have, as far as probably a secure family, went to school at a Ivy League school, but I'm sure you probably would be in a better position than them. And
I'm not saying everybody is disadvantaged, right?
That's what I was saying. It's not everybody. So I'm saying, like, you came through the ranks and not having all that stuff and still landed in probably a better spot than a girl who came out of Ivy League school, who grew up with a dad who probably knew somebody at the company.
Right.
So
again, of course, I'm not speaking in totality to say everybody, but it is more the lack of equity more frequently impacts black and brown people than it does others. So that's all I'm saying. It like, even now when you look at the situation with the migrants situation, right? You look at the homeless population that we have here in the U.S., and then you have migrants who are coming into the U.S. seeking a better life. I'm not talking about anybody who's, running
some of
from
them are committing crimes, though.
But I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the moms with kids who are escaping to literally come here for a better life, who are seeking asylum because they may be killed back in their home country if they don't allow their son to be a drug mule, like something like that. Like, they're honestly seeking a better life. They come here and technically they have nothing, just like the homeless woman with her kids that may be on the street or be in a shelter, but they're being given apartments. They're jumping the line for assistance, like, certain benefits that they're being provided. So again, it's one of them things where, and of course, I'm not saying the homeless population is black and brown people. It's all colors and nationalities. But again, it's one of those situations where somebody is being given an advantage in life where others are not.
But wouldn't you, some people would argue that they're coming from a country, like you said, with nothing. So it seems almost, and you're inclined to give them a bit of a head start because they're coming into a country where they're coming from a country that has zero. They have like their bags and kids on them. So they got zero. So you have to start them with something.
Well, hold
on, let me finish. People who are in this country know what this country is about and know that there's opportunity here. So just like we always say, I'll spend a sign for you in front of the bank so I can feed you. You always say, I'll work in McDonald's to feed you. So there's opportunity here. So the people here that, and not all of them, because we know some of them have mental issues, but the people who are homeless here, lazy here, like, why would you want to give them when they're here in the land of opportunity and not give the people who come in here, like you said, honestly trying to just get a better life? And I got zero.
Well, so, because again, that doesn't mean they had zero at home. They made the decision to leave what they had.
I'm sure they had less than what, I mean, well,
I understand, but you choose to leave what you had where you were.
Well, you said they didn't choose to leave. It's like, my son gonna be a drug mill, or they want him to join this gang.
No, but you chose to leave because of that. I'm not saying you made a bad choice, but you chose to leave because of that. So you left your home, you left whatever you had there to come here to start over, but you're not starting from scratch. You're being given a leg up.
Right.
Where others who may need that leg up, let's say the mom.
But that's how it works here. Like, just think about that whole situation and let's play it out. A person from Mexico comes here and is
refugee.
Yeah, a refugee. I was about to say an immigrant. But they're
immigrant.
Okay, an immigrant here. They have no ID on them. How do we expect them, if we say, here, come here, you can get a, like, where do we expect them to stay? How do we expect them to maneuver in our society without a piece of ID?
You know how many homeless people are on the street that don't have ID?
They don't maneuver in society, is what I'm saying. They're homeless on the street. They're in trash cans and stuff like that. You're talking about a woman with 4 kids, like, where's she staying at the night? And I'm playing devil's advocate, but where do we expect, if we're going to welcome people like that, where do we expect them to start? Like,
I'm not saying don't help them meaning the migrants who are coming here, but provide those same opportunities for the homeless people as well. So yes, maybe that is the good thing, the American way that we are helping, but I think it's like, again, we're giving them an advantage where others who need that same leg up have to jump through hoops and circles and burning fire rings to get a leg up.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying is the equity. So
but most Americans who need government assistance, it's not a loop to like, you can get that, right? I mean,
it takes some, but see,
if you can prove you're not working and you need it, like, I'm not talking about people who
well, not even not working. That's the thing too. Some people are working and they just don't make enough.
But that's what I'm saying. If you can prove that you actually need it, it's not hard to get.
No, it's not. I mean, the government standards are, not the best because it's like the income guidelines. That's a whole different conversation. But going back to the integration versus separation, us being integrated, I think the problem is that when they made a decision to integrate the schools at that time, we were never made equal. So that's where it was like, okay, everybody else, meaning the white people, had a head start. Sure, you can go to our schools. Sure, you can eat at our restaurants. You got to sit in the back. In the schools, you can come here. It don't mean that we're going to treat you fairly. The buses, you can get on them, but you got to sit in the back. So the jobs, you might be able to work here, but you can't come in the front door. You got to go in the back door. So it's those things where it's like, it's not that integration in of itself was a bad thing, but we didn't ask for the right things.
Right.
So if we had a separate society, contingent on everybody playing their part. Yes, some of the cream is going to rise to the crop because everybody's not going to be able to be the doctors. Right. Everybody's not going to be, and everybody's not going to qualify to be the custodial workers.
It seems to me that everybody thinks that just if Black people are together, there's going to be some utopia of just Black people doing great and doing, like, there's not going to be robbers, there's not going to be thieves, there's not going to be lazy people. Like,
no,
it's
but
going to
I
be
think
all
what
of
it
that.
is it would be you would remove. It's like, okay, we can just I saw a video of a young lady. She was from Jamaica, and she was saying how a lot of times people think that she's aggressive and she's arrogant. And she was saying, coming from where she comes from, she never had to think about white people treating her unfairly, or white people looking down on her. You think about Jamaica. I mean, not that there aren't white people or other people there, but it's primarily black people. So that air of arrogance that people think that Africans or Jamaicans or those who come from countries that are primarily black, it's because they do have this sense of self
confidence. It's
more
not
so
arrogance.
than black Americans have. So I think that's what it is, and this having a separate society, separate but equal, is because at least, no, it doesn't fix everything, and no, it's not a utopian society, but it removes that burden of others looking down on us. Like the minority, we're no longer considered a minority because the color of our skin, because we're all the color of skin. Now, of course, there's other issues like colorism and things like that. But for the majority, black people, we don't look at, I mean, that light skin, dark skin thing, those were conversations when you're younger. The darker, the more beautiful I think people are. And I think a lot of people, we kind of acknowledge that. Like that kind of is like
but it's
an
a thing.
ancillary.
It
is, but it's
exists.
an ancillary conversation. Like you have the darkest, chocolatest, most beautiful men and women in society who have opportunities. But the problem is when they don't get those opportunities, a lot of times is when they're in the rooms with others. You know, the others will look at, you know, those were like Kamala Harris, and not saying she's vice president because she's light skinned, but they'll look at, you know, others that are more fair skinned or look like.
But that's what I mean. It's a thing that you can't ignore. Like it's people who.
But I
deal
think
with
it's
that.
less of a thing when it's just us. That's what I'm saying.
It could be.
It's less of a thing.
It could be. It could be, or it could not be. I still would think there would be some dark skinned girls or dark skinned men who would look at light skinned niggas like the same. And I'm like
they have a better opportunity?
Yeah, like you got a better opportunity. The girls like you more because your hair silky, you light skin, you pretty motherfucker. Like that type of shit is always going to exist between the differences of people. Like that's just how it's going to be. I don't, and just to give my answer, I don't agree that we should be segregated. I just think that it quells the resources that you can have. I think people should work in community, and these people should mess with these people because you never know who you can meet as a friend, a lover, an associate, like a person that might can advance something that you're doing that, you know, I'm not saying like it couldn't happen in the black part or the white part or the Spanish part, but just the mingling of people makes it better, I think, because it just opens up more of the resources for an individual.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm an advocate for segregation either. Do I think it could work? Yes, but I think in our integrated society, the key factor is having the equality and the equity. So I'm not saying like, hey, let's, you know, back to Africa. I don't even know where I belong in Africa, so that ain't my message at all. But I feel you. Like I agree.
So what would you say the equal equity would be for Natasha on an application, a white girl from the Ivy League school who got a 3.0 and you got a 1.8? Like, what would be the equity to make you equal with that? That should be handed to you.
Well, see, no, in that case, I'm looking at it as, you said Natasha from an Ivy League school?
No, you're not from an Ivy League school. You just
well, if I got a 1.8, then I didn't do what I was supposed to do. But I'm saying if Becky has a 1.8 from the Ivy League school and I got a 4.0 from community college, but people, because again, when you...
But what if her score is higher than yours?
Well, then she earned it. Then that's not equity.
I'm just saying, y'all, when you said y'all didn't start at the same spot because she had opportunities to go at Ivy League schools when you didn't.
But you missed my point. What I was saying is she went to an Ivy League school and didn't perform well. I didn't have an opportunity to go to an Ivy League school. I may have went to community college and I performed amazing. But when you apply for jobs, they don't ask for your transcripts. They just want to know, do you have the degree? And they're looking at the school name. So now she may get an opportunity that I didn't because her degree says Princeton, mine says community college. But they don't know she got a 1.8 and I got a 4.0.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
so you're switching it. Yeah, but in that case, she earned it. That's not equity. So the fact I could have still done well regardless of what school I went to. The fact that I didn't, I can't blame that on opportunity.
Okay, so you're saying if both of y'all had a 4.0 and you went to a community school and she went to an Ivy League school,
Well, then that's where it comes into play.
So that's what I'm trying to just understand what you're saying and word the question where you don't say I'm wrong. I'm just trying to say what's the equal equity that could be given to the person who has the lesser amount in that situation.
So again, if our grade point average was the same,
right.
we performed the same,
right.
we just went to different schools, then okay, whoever they feel is the better candidate. All I'm saying is,
so in that situation, you wouldn't feel slighted that the white girl got the job because you would feel like I did well too.
Yeah, I mean, she probably got it because her degree says, but if her grades are equal to mine, then we both had equal opportunity. They just probably thought she was a better candidate. So I'm not saying there's a slight there. I'm saying there's a slight when somebody who didn't perform as well, gotcha. But because of how they are presented, whether it's a title or a degree or the name or a zip code right. that they've come from, like that can play a part in it as well. Like, you're applying for a job and you put, your zip code, and these are things that people shouldn't look at, but they can look at it to say, oh, 19132. Oh, she from the hood. Who we about to call in here to interview? And you look at this person over here who has, a Voorhees zip code. That is so that's all I'm saying.
What can you do about that? Is what I'm saying. How can you make that even? I guess.
Well, it has to be. It has to be policies
because isn't
and process.
that based on the individual who's in charge of? I guess.
Well, that's why I said that. With this integrated society, the equality, that's a thought process. Like people had to, and that's what happened. Like that wasn't integrated. The society was integrated, but that thought wasn't integrated into people's mind. So it's nothing you can really do. You can't stop one person from thinking the way that they think, but it's something that should have been part of society to integrate that into how people move, like Jim Crow laws and stuff like that. Like,
so it had to start from the inception of integration.
Yeah.
Because if it was to be like Natasha, how do you fix it then? How do you level out the balance and keep people integrated, but make everything not equal, but equitable. So how you fix it?
But I think black people can't fix
like starting
racism.
Now,
black people can't fix racism. White people have to fix it, and the way that they fix it is call out your family members, and when you hear them saying some things, or your friends that you may have a couple, you may not have a problem with black people, but if you have white friends and they may say some off the wall stuff, and you just kind of chuckle along with it, call them out.
So do you look at that as racism? The fact that we're the equity isn't the same?
Yeah, it is a form of racism. It is a form of, like when you look at like redlining, mm-hmm. those policies
that's definitely racism.
Exactly, those policies that were implemented that had generational impacts on how we move. When you look at the fact that black people were denied business loans and mortgages and things like that, right. Those were all definitely racism. Policies that were put into place. So we as
systematic
black people,
racism.
We can talk until we blue in the mouth, but it's the white people that are in power that can make these changes. They have to do it. Because and they have to trickle that down to their employees. So the person who's in charge of Bank America, when he finds out that his employees are denying loans to black people, he's the one that needs to implement policy and make changes to make sure that his employees know. So I mean, again, we as the people who may be being prejudiced against, we can fuss and fight about it, but the real change is going to happen when the white people change their ways and change the people around them.
Which I think that'll never happen, which means racism will always exist in this country. It'll always exist because that's the thing about integration and having so many people is that there's always going to be differences. People are always going to look at other people upward, downward, side eye, whatever. Like that's just going.
But being prejudiced and being racist is two different things.
That's true, but again, when that cream rises to the top in a country like this, where you can say what you want, do what you want, you can have a company and be as big as you want, then there's gonna always be somebody that looks down and says, I don't fuck with those people and I don't like those people.
I mean,
it's not right, but it's just, I just think that's always going to exist because of where we live and what you can do here. Like, I guess if things was equal and you could only be but so big, then yeah, you probably wouldn't have that tone against the other people that live here. But if you can, the cream rises to the crop and you're dominant in the society, that's how you're going to look down on people. It's not right. I don't think it's right, but I think that's always going to be because it always has been.
But looking down on people just because you're at a higher level than them and looking down on people because of the color of their skin is different. You can look down at people like, oh, those are, the poors and I'm wealthier than them, I'm better than them, I'm smarter than them. And that can include them could be a mix of all the people that you feel that you're smarter, better, richer than. But looking down on people just because they're black is completely different.
It is different, but you can assess that the poors, like you just said, the quote unquote, most of them are Spanish people, most of them are black people, so I don't like them. You could assess that in you. I know we sitting here saying that's wrong, but an individual can say, all right, that the poors, I think most of them are black, so that's why I don't like them.
But rich white people dislike poor white people more than they like poor black and brown people. So I mean, it's part of society. Another part of society. You know what a sundown town is?
Let's do 3 grams.
Okay.
I do know.
That scared me.
I do know what a sundown town is, and I read on Facebook you had an experience with it. Share.
Well, I didn't. I thought I did. Mm-hmm. So I'm driving.
And again, you probably was going to call me, and how the hell am I going to race somewhere to get you, and somebody about to hang you up somewhere in that amount of time?
Well, I just thought to myself, so I was on my way to a job site today, and I get off the highway, and I knew this was it's weird. It's like down south, but in New Jersey. And I see this motel and I'm driving. I'm like, what the hell? And it looks like some side of the road, rinky-dink motel. The other side is farmland. So this is like the only establishment that I see and nothing else, like no other houses. And I'm driving and it says, in my mind, white only motel. So I'm like, I'm going home. I don't even want no parts of this. And I'm like, I cannot believe. And then I'm thinking, I don't want to make a U-turn. Because again, a farm is a farm, but that's somebody's property. So I'm like, I don't want to make a U-turn on somebody's property or something. So let me get past it and then turn around. And I'm getting back on the highway. And as I'm getting closer, I'm like, oh, it said White Oaks Motel.
You fucking eye doctor.
But the OAKS, I thought it said white only. And then in my mind, I'm like, wow, I can't believe
that sounds just like the eye doctor that you were mistaking L for an S. Yeah, that's just like the eye doctor where you said the Z was an O. Yeah, that's just like the eye doctor.
But I don't think there's any sundown towns in New Jersey. So for those who may not know, a sundown town is a town where they tell black people do not be there.
But you're generalizing, though. You don't know that, though. I think that there is.
What?
In some parts of Jersey, it's rural as hell. It might be a sundown town, but Jersey big as hell, babe.
It absolutely may be. I don't know of any, but you're absolutely right. It may be. Nevertheless, it is a town that tells black people, and maybe just non-white people. I don't want to say it's just black people, but non-white people don't be there when the sun goes down because they know that it's racist. They know that something bad can happen to you. And it's not necessarily legal. It's not like a crime for you to be there, but it's a warning. And in 2024, it is very well known. It's like I just said, it was a cross burning in Tennessee.
Yeah, I would think a place like Philadelphia, Mississippi, you wouldn't want to be when the sun go down, or Philip, Arkansas. You wouldn't want to be in those places when the sun goes down.
But I mean, you don't know. They could be black towns.
Or they could be
small
sundown
But you
towns.
also can think the town.
Like you going there trying to look for, you know, some,
a CVS or something.
Yeah, and it's like, and they looking at you like, are you out of your fucking mind?
Or it could be like that town in West Virginia that got the family that was on the Underbelly.
Yeah,
it could be
or
a
you
town
just
like
walking
that.
down the street looking for a cab and somebody throw a bottle at you, like, get the fuck out of here, nigga. Like, that means you shouldn't be down when the sun. Yeah, so, get your ass out of there.
It's crazy to think that still exists, but it does.
Yeah.
Primarily down south, but it doesn't mean only down south.
I would hope that, I'm trying to think, was I ever in a sundown town? Ever somewhere where they was outwardly like, no, I don't think so.
We've never been in a sundown town that we're aware of, but we have been on vacation. And I will say this was in Tybee Island, Georgia.
Yeah.
Right near Savannah, Georgia. Yeah. And we've been to a lot of places up and down the East Coast before we could fly. This was the most uncomfortable place in Georgia we've ever been. And we went to like this restaurant like, that was nice and like black families were there. But we were staying in this complex we had rented a condo for the week, and we would go to the pool. And we would hear people out there because we could see the pool from our window. We could see the beach from the other window.
And I'm talking 20, 25 people, 30 people in the pool.
And we go out to the pool, and next thing you know,
within 10 minutes, that shit empty.
It's just us. And this didn't happen just one time. We were there for a week. This happened like 3-4 times. Mm-hmm. And it was like,
And then when I came outside to smoke one morning, the guy was coming out next door, and I was like, good morning. He looked me from my feet to my fucking face and was just kept walking. I was like, damn.
Yeah, that was
it's tight out here.
We went to Savannah one night, and that was cool. No issues. We went to a great restaurant. Savannah was cool. But
Savannah sounds black. It sounds like black people would be there. Savannah's a black name.
But I feel like Savannah had slaves. Yeah. But Tybee Island.
And they shut it down there, too.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a sign, too. Like 9 o'clock,
things
they
closed
shut
down.
Shit down.
Yeah, it just wasn't comfortable. It was like, we don't ever have to come back here. Nope.
I got a question. How many times in you 43 have you been in love? And be honest.
So
I know I'm your only one love, but how many times did you think you was in love?
That I think I was.
For me,
love?
It's 2.
2 including me or other than me?
2 including you.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest, like, because when I was young and I was a teenager, nobody couldn't tell me shit that I wasn't in love with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I would think that would be a time that I think that I know I was in love. Nobody couldn't tell me I didn't love my girlfriend at 14, 15 years old. And now I'm in love. Like, nobody can't tell me that I'm not in love with you. And I know with that now I can look back and say, 14, 15, you wasn't really in love, nigga.
But you were in love to the level of love that you knew and understood. So I wouldn't
everything in between that, I wouldn't say in love. I might have loved the person, but I'd not say in love. But my childhood girlfriend, like 14, 15, and you, I can't deny that. So 2 for me, including you.
I would say 3 for me, including you.
Wow.
I knew this wasn't going to go over. Simple.
Get the fuck out of my sight.
This
Get out of my sight. Get the fuck off my show.
And again, it's the level of love that you knew and understood. And
who these niggas is?
We're not having that conversation.
Who these niggas is?
We're not having that conversation. It's the level of love that you knew and understood at that time.
You hear me talking to you? I know these niggas?
No, you don't know anybody.
Okay.
All right? You don't know anybody.
How old was you?
Really? We about to do this?
How old was you?
I would say 14 and then probably right before you. 17, maybe. 18.
All right.
Yeah, I would say 14 and 18.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You done?
Yeah.
You finished?
Yeah.
Okay. You good?
Fuck out of here.
All right. Next question. But when you think about it though, when I don't like when people discount puppy love like they call it, because funny story, when I was 14, I will never forget. Me and my boyfriend had been together for 8 months. Wait a minute, no, I might be wrong. a year. No, wait, whatever. We have been together for like a year and a half, right? And I had bought him a bracelet for his birthday. And I will never forget my dad's friend saying, "Why you let her spend her money?" Nah, 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 nah. And I was like so mad at him, like probably never wanted to speak to him again. Like, what do you mean? Like, we're gonna get married? Like, we're gonna get married? Like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I just spent a year and a half of my life with this person, and it was like, and nothing in my mind you could have told me that wasn't like gonna be my husband. And I'm 14, 15 years old. So I mean, at that time, it's to the level of love that, you know, when you look back on, it's like, oh, like, what did you know? Like, nothing.
Fuck that nigga and his bracelet.
But let me tell you another funny story.
Yeah, another nigga and another bracelet?
No, years later.
Chain?
Years later, so we were friends after we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend anymore. And he actually went on my prom, but we were just friends. And we were talking. First of all, he broke up with me because this girl, she was a fresh pot. And her mom used to let him spend a night and stuff. And we was kids. I couldn't compete with that. So years later, I had asked about the bracelet. He gonna say, "You don't want to know about that bracelet." I'm like, "What?" He gave it to the girl. This was a real gold bracelet.
Hey, no re-gift.
Niggas ain't nothing. Like,
re-gift.
How you do that? You ever did something shady like that?
Nah, but fuck that nigga in this bracelet.
Oh God, it's her bracelet.
Yeah, and her too. Fuck her too. I'm sorry, shorty, but fuck that nigga and the nigga that gave it to you, and you too, and the bracelet. Fuck all y'all. I married her. How about that?
Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. I'm gonna have to hear about this until next episode.
Shit.
Okay.
Last question. What's allowed on a break?
Well, first of all, a break ain't allowed. But I would look at it like this. Don't do anything on a break.
If you're having a consensual break.
I understand.
You're both, not us, you're both saying, I need some time. We're going to take some time.
I would say this. Don't do anything on a break that you wouldn't have done during the relationship if you think there's any hope for you reuniting. Because no matter what he said, or just make sure you do not tell. Because no matter what a man says, he is not going to accept the fact that you was banging somebody else when you were on a break. And even as a man, no matter what the woman says, she's going to hold that over your head. And if y'all do get back together, it's going to be that.
Is dating okay on a break? Is talking to somebody else okay on a break?
No, I don't think so. Because then
So what's the break for? Just to
first of all, we're supposed to be breaking because you want to spend some time, clear your head, maybe figure things out. Why are you entertaining somebody else if you're supposed to be taking a break? Are you just taking a break from me, or are you taking a break from a relationship?
Taking a break from you.
And so now you're allowing somebody else to enter that space, then you don't want to be together. If we taking a break, I would look, and of course I'm not talking about us, but I would look at it like, you need some time to clear your head. You need some you time.
Right.
Like, that's how I would look. You time should not be spent with her. Because now that's your time.
Isn't that self-care? Like to have a companion?
I was your companion.
But I need a break from you. Maybe we was arguing. Maybe we was stressing.
Go get a cat.
Just like that. Go get a fucking cat? Like,
a companion.
We get a break Monday. I get a cat Wednesday.
Don't you have friends?
Yeah, but they dickheads. Like, I don't.
You need a better friend circle then. Why do you need a woman companion? So you need sex?
No, soft touch. Maybe a nice conversation.
Go talk to the bartender.
I gotta spend money on that.
You don't drink. Drink some water. Leave a $5 tip for water.
You can't go to the bar.
No, I don't think that you should entertain others during a break. Because, okay, let's just play the scenario out. We on a break. You know, this guy, he knows, like, oh, I ain't see you. Your guy drop you off. Oh, yeah, we on a break, Oh, well, maybe.
So you're telling other motherfuckers you on a break?
Well, because if I'm going to be looking to entertain or talk to somebody else, I don't want them to think that I'm a cheater.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing. Like, let's be clear. If I'm with my dude and we all good, I'm not gonna entertain you. I'm not gonna get your phone number. You can't take me out to dinner. But if we on a break and that's allowed, then I have to let you know that we on a break so that you know if and when I'm back with my dude, this isn't allowed.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta let people know, right?
Okay.
All right. And then he's like, oh, well, let me, you going through something. You need somebody to talk to. Oh, Friday. I know y'all usually go out Friday, so you're going to be lonely this Friday. Let me take you out then. Like, so now they start talking. He's being caring. Oh, they have a nice time out Friday. What you doing tomorrow? Then let me come pick you up, take you to breakfast or whatever. Okay. Then Sunday come. Sunday, you want to go grab a movie or something and get dinner. Now, y'all done spent 3 days together.
Let's just say,
why you allowing?
Okay, say nothing happens, and then you get back together, and it's like, okay, what happened? It's like nothing. We was broken up for 3 months, a month, whatever, and it was like I went on 2 dates. Like I went to the movies and I went to dinner. You would hold that over a person's head?
But okay, but what if nothing happens physically, but you start to enjoy conversation with this person? She made you laugh. Like, she was a nice...
I understand all that, but I'm coming back to you.
It's not that I'm holding over your head, but I'm always going to be thinking, like, is he still talking to... It's gonna breed some mistrust, or I'm not gonna say mistrust. It's gonna breed insecurity, because now I'm wondering, is he still thinking about her? Did he miss her? Did he enjoy her conversation? Is this now competition? Like, do he think like, I like talking to her more than I like talking to my girl? Like, and the man will probably be thinking, wouldn't you be thinking the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
And you're never going to believe that she didn't give him none.
Nope.
So that's why I'm saying.
I was just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Ain't shit allowed on the break.
Yeah. I don't even think a break should be allowed.
Well, it can be volatile sometimes. Some people need a break.
If it's volatile, then you shouldn't be together.
Hey, there's relationships that happen that were volatile in the beginning that people were together 50, 60 years. It happens.
You mean volatile, get yourself to volatile or
I didn't
violent?
say violent, volatile.
Okay.
Like just ups and downs, rocky arguments, like can't get right, and then all of a sudden they click.
Okay.
It exists.
I guess a break is a break if you're like boyfriend and girlfriend. Then
yeah, I don't think you can break if you're husband and wife. Like, why did you get married? Yeah. Like that, you can't. That's not you running away if you do that.
Is that what happened when you on September? Never mind. This is episode 181, y'all. It's been great, and you can catch us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Apple Podcast.
What she just did is one of the biggest reasons why I want to go back to therapy. So let me just lay that there like a bad pierogi.
What did I just do?
A2TP podcast episode 181.
Nah.
Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, Podchaser, Google Podcast, Player FM are all the platforms y'all can catch us on. My face, her face, our face. It is
your girl Tosh, the co-hostess with the mostest.
Your boy International Walk, throwing it back to
your girl Tosh, the co-hostess with the mostest. Authenticity is key. Be you. Everyone else is taken. And
if you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace.
We about to call and schedule a therapy appointment.